Welcome back to The Beast Den. My name is Lynn the Beast. I am a chaos coach and content creator for highly driven, highly ambitious women. I help you create work-life balance without putting yourself on the back burner and without missing a beat in business or in life. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video all about how to create a home that supports hustle and rest. And I think this is really timely because I just got off of my 2-week hiatus in resting as a workaholic. So I learned a couple of things that I want to share with you about how it is that I'm going to be intentionally creating this space moving forward. I'm sorry, I got hot. A lot of you, when you hear the word hustle, you get turned off, you become afraid, like, I don't want to fall into hustle culture. I don't want to be considered someone that's always hustling. Like, I get it, but you're in a business grind or 9-to-5 grind. Like, you are on some sort of schedule that requires for you to show up consistently and work your tail off to get the success that you have or to get the success that you want. Either way, how do we create an environment that facilitates both being able to be super hyper intentional in our hustle, right? So that we're not necessarily burning ourselves out, but also creating these spaces for rest, creating these spaces where you are okay to slow down and create the downtime that you need. So in my personal experience, the first way that I did this is creating boundaries. Mostly boundaries with myself, I'll be honest, because over time I've been able to establish really hard and heavy boundaries with my family members, with my friends. D&D on my phone, I live there. Like, my friends always joke, I'm dead at this point because by the time that you call me back or by the time that you answer, like, it's been hours and I'm like, sorry, not sorry. I like my space. I like not having to answer right when my phone rings. I like being able to give my phone the attention or the people that texted me the attention that they need when they need it. I don't want to feel obligated to be on my phone all day. So I'm not. So the first way that you're going to do this is creating boundaries with yourself. If you know that you are someone that likes to be on your phone all of the time, then set timers, put yourself on do not disturb. The first way that you want to do this is creating that boundary. You're going to set aside intentional time. I think that this was something that was huge for me, especially in my 2 weeks of resting as a workaholic, is I set the time out intentionally. I knew that I needed to put it on my calendar, right? Using my Google Calendar, I blocked out all of that time so that I could then take a step back in my business so that I could only accept the projects that really felt most aligned to me, that would feed me creatively, that didn't feel like energy sucks, that would still give me the bandwidth to be hyper intentional about the rest that I was taking while still hitting my business goals. If you want to create a space of better balance between your work grind and resting, you need to be intentional about that. You need to schedule set days. So on my calendar, on my planner, every Friday, I take my kids out. That is an adventure day. Even if we don't go out, we are spending the day at home doing absolutely nothing. We're just being present. We're just being together. We're just not having anything on the calendar. I don't have any coachings. I don't have any calls. We're just there. We're there. We'll go out to eat, we'll go somewhere, or we go nowhere. But the time has already been intentionally set for that specifically. So if you need to schedule solo dates with yourself, if you need to schedule days where you're getting whatever, just sleep, right? Additional sleep, whatever that looks like for you to be able to rest, but also what does that look like for you to get the work that you need to get done, right? Set that time aside, create a schedule for yourself. Don't just free fall your days. That is such a quick way for you to burn out, which leads me to my next point. You need to know your triggers. Know your burnout triggers. And if you don't know what they are, ask your spouse, ask your friends. A lot of them are more privy to our habits than we even are sometimes. So you can ask them, how do you know that I'm burnt out? What are the signs that you start to notice when I'm nearing burnout? And that way you then have that awareness, okay? You need to know what are those triggers so that you can prevent them. That way we're being proactive and not reactive when it comes to burnout. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about, and I know it's not sexy to talk about, but it is so necessary, is systems. Do you have systems in place to support this work life that you are creating of hustling and resting? For me, that looks like Instacart. I need to go into my Instacart and see exactly how many hours I saved, but like just this morning I made an Instacart order and it says, you saved 1 hour. I did it from my bed and I went right back to sleep. I can't beat that. I don't care. I don't care how much the delivery fee is. That's what I would have wasted on gas anyway because we live in the boonies. That's not a big deal for me. I would much rather create more time for me to sleep and have someone else pick up my groceries than for me to pack up my kids or for me to get up earlier and then be in a cranky mood, and like it all just kind of spirals. So you want to really look at your schedule and your tasks and say, what are things that are not enjoyable for me? What are things that I can delegate? Another example of a system can be washing clothes. Maybe you don't love to wash clothes, or maybe your husband loves to wash clothes, but you don't mind folding and putting away. Okay, so then delegate that. That's a system that you have in place. You could literally use this for absolutely anything. In business, we know there's so many systems that you can set in place. Automations, you can delegate your work out, you can create all sorts of workflows that make it easier for you to show up to work and just work within your zone of genius so that you're not doing tasks that are not necessary, right? And maybe that's a whole separate video, but even in your business, you can create systems that are just going to make the hustle and grind of it all so much more effortless for you, so that you can just work within what you're really, really good at and really passionate about. If you are on a mission to create work-life balance or balance between hustling and resting in your home, you want to create an environment that really fosters this space of like, no, when we're in seasons of hustle, we're in seasons of hustle and we're not going to feel bad about that. And then we create spaces for rest. Manage your expectations. I am a firm believer that there are seasons of hustle. There's seasons where, yes, I'm getting less rest than the rest of the year, but that is the price that I'm willing to pay to achieve the things that I'm achieving. I'm okay with that. And so I manage my expectations and I make it okay in my mind and with my nervous system and in my family, so that they know, like, there's times that, yeah, I'm going to be working later. There's days that, yeah, I'm going to be hustling a little harder. Yes, there's days that I'm going to be creating more videos than ever. These are things that just have to happen if we want to live a life like no one in our family has ever experienced. That's just my reality, and I choose to accept that. And so managing your expectations is going to really help you eliminate that guilt of like, damn, I'm in a season of hustle and like, I don't want to fall into hustle culture and I don't want this and I don't want that. Let this be your permission to know that it's okay. It's okay to be in seasons of hustle. It's okay to be in seasons of grinding and late nights and early mornings and work, because then there's a season of rest. Because then there's a season of like I just got off of, where you can take a step back and let your business continue to run and still do the things that you want to do and still feel really good and pour into yourself. You created that environment, and you do that with the tips that I just shared with you. Okay, so you want to create those boundaries, you want to create those systems, you want to manage your expectations, you want to know your burnout triggers, right? These are things that you can do to create an environment in your home that fosters both the hustle and the rest. All right, so we are on the road to 75 hard. This is happening. We're in it. And so tomorrow I will be back with yet another video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Leave me a note in the comments if you have decided to join me for the 75 hard, or if you enjoyed this video, what you learned from it. And I will see you mañana. Sweet night, Space Fam.